ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
What I call nastiness.
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves or possesses weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that which matters most. We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
No, it's a big club, and you ain't in it.
All right. Welcome, everyone. People, Libertarians of Maryland. Yeah, go ahead and applaud, please. The System is Down is filmed in front of a live studio audience, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are the first of these. So, enjoy. We would have had slides, but Libertarians don't know how to run technology, as we all know. How are y'all doing? Y'all doing okay? Everything? I don't know what you said, but thank you. We'll talk about Lisa later, don't worry. Welcome to the lunch special. We are going to, this is the official, unofficial State of the LP address. And as you know, like it's kind of like the State of the Union address that the president gives, but the difference between us and the president is that we don't lie about shit. And that doesn't necessarily bode well for you guys because we're going to be honest. So, the State of the LP is, Dave, what do you think, Dave? Is it going great?
I'd say strong to very strong.
Slamming, just killing it, y'all. It's my understanding, according to Twitter.com, that you're all a bunch of racists. Is that true?
Raise your hand if you're racist. He said white supremacists are welcome here. My man, okay. I feel very comfortable then. Thank you.
Before we get into anything, I have to, it is 420. It's not only 420, but there's a very special birthday that we have to acknowledge here. If we could all please sing Happy Birthday together. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
He knows.
Happy birthday. Everybody say it together if you know. Go ahead. Dear. Separating the men from the boys here. Some people know and some people do not.
Oh my gosh, it's Dave Smith's birthday. Settle down, sir.
Yes. It is also Hitler's birthday, according to that gentleman. I had no idea, personally. But, again, Twitter might not be lying about that racist thing. It's up to you. Nothing is staying together, but that's fine.
We'll get there.
It's typical. If we were doing this online, nothing would work either. But this is your Mises Caucus takeover, y'all. You feeling good? Feeling strong?
Yeah?
Are you sure? Do you guys remember Tyler Hobbs? You remember Tyler Hobbs, Dave?
He took over the Twitter.
Yeah,
that was his
right
takeover.
After the Mises Caucus takeover, Tyler Hobbs took over the Mises Caucus Twitter. And then Dave Smith bailed, the coward that he is. And then Josh Smith was vice chair for like 24 hours and then had 12 kids and blamed them all for it. And now he's running for president and probably having 12 more kids. And we are in the current state of Toad. Toad being one of the most qualified people to run for president. I think that we should... We'll talk about some of the candidates, but I think that you personally should vote for the candidate that you believe the most strongly in who showed up to your convention.
Noda? It's a strong choice, I think.
Also, I'm pretty sure Reed Coverdale killed himself since the takeover. I don't know what happened to him, but he's dead, right, Dave?
I'm pretty sure. Haven't seen any sign of him lately.
Yeah. And there's still, plenty of coups, plenty of tomfuckery going on in the LP. So, I don't know. I've got my criticisms of the Mises Caucus takeover, Dave. How do you feel about it?
Harder than I expected. I thought, takeover sounds pretty permanent. So I don't know if it's that exactly, but the culture is definitely there. Some dude earlier said that, hey, if you want to know what I stand for, go check out the Mises Caucus platform. I respect that. If you're down with Ron Paul, I'm down with you. That's pretty easy to understand. So pretty easy to get on the same page that way. So, yeah, I'm still pro-Mises Caucus. If you're anti-Mises Caucus, I got a big, big problem with you. Well, then we really need to have a talk.
You talking to me?
No, but I
You
am
wanna go,
talking.
Dave?
I do know some of y'all from Twitter, though. Called me some names. But we'll talk about that later.
Now, to me, the biggest beef that I have with the Mises Caucus takeover becoming whatever it is now is I had one thing that I was holding on to when Angela became the chair, and I've asked her about it multiple times. I was told by this politician, Angela McArdle, that Michael Malice would be given the Twitter keys within 24 hours of the takeover, and we are still here without Michael Malice having the Twitter keys. I don't care. There's been some ups and downs. There's some spending issues. There's some finance issues. I don't know. I don't care about any of that stuff. But the Twitter keys is one thing that she could have actually done. Do you agree, Dave? Should we hold her accountable? Should people not vote for her just based on being a politician who lies about Twitter keys?
I think if Malice were willing to do it pro bono, then that would be pretty easy. But I think he wanted 1 Bitcoin per month, which is probably, we know that's out of the budget at this point, So can't blame her for that one.
So you're trying to pass the blame?
Yeah, I blame Malice for not doing that for free.
All right. So fuck
It would have been
capitalism,
sweet,
is what
though.
you're saying.
It would have been sweet.
Yeah.
The messaging has been, if you agree with me, a complete 180 from what it's been the entire time, though. Went from 0 to 100 real quick. It's still pretty based, like Amy's speech, based. And
Give it up for
important.
Amy's speech.
Yeah.
Holy shit. But Dave's out. Dave Smith is out.
Yeah, coward.
Coward, yes.
Exactly.
Coward. Everybody agree? Coward? Yeah. Okay, good. I mean, you can blame his wife or you can blame him for caving to his wife. It's up to you. So Dave is out. Who is left? I'm going to count down from 3 to 0. And when I get to 0, I want you all to shout out who your candidate for president is. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah. You have no idea. Yeah. Nobody agrees on anything. Probably because we still have like 25 candidates left and it's April. It's the end of April. Why do we do this, Dave? Why do we wait till, I don't know, May to pick a guy?
We like the victim status. We like to be David versus Goliath.
Right.
I think we've just settled comfortably into that position.
Keep ourselves small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard work, but let's make it a little bit harder.
Yeah. I mean, does somebody have a good answer for that? Why do we wait so long? I think that we should be picking these candidates a little bit sooner than May. Generally, it hasn't boded well in our history, from what I can tell. But Irene, of course, has an answer.
No, we actually don't have to. We just formed a committee to find a way to have convention earlier. There's about 10 people on the committee. If you're interested, come find me so that we can do this a little bit earlier. I was told by Karen Ann that there was no specific bylaw issue with having this earlier than it is. So we're working on it. We're going to investigate. We need information from each state, looking at the laws, because if we move up convention for national, we have to deal with all the issues that are related to the states. So like I said, there's 10 people on the committee so far.
I like it. Change. Let's do it. Give her a clap for her. What?
This guy has his hand up.
Oh, we're not quite to Q&A yet. Sure, go ahead. I guess I did ask.
What would be the example of somebody holding a convention earlier and doing really well?
I don't know. I just know that when we're getting down to the wire and the clear choice for Democrats and Republicans, and then we've got this third party over here that has 25 guys still left, it's hard to rally people around a bunch of libertarians when they've got 2 guys running against each other and Kennedy who's squashing us in our tracks.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't that strike you as odd? I mean, the whole country's having a national conversation and you're not in it. That's a shame.
Right.
You could put yourself in it. You could have a guy. You just figure this out a little bit earlier and try and get any advantage you possibly can. Because while we're the third largest party, it's like the top two, and then all the other ones that were at the top of, you know? So let's acknowledge the disparity and get in there on the duopoly.
Also, fun fact, had we acted sooner, we might have been able to trap Dave before his wife got to him.
That's
and
it.
He could have been our candidate. So act sooner. Don't put off till tomorrow who you can trap today. I don't know. Now, because y'all screamed out 25 different answers, let's do this. If you're so willing, this is not McCarthyist interrogation or anything, but this is optional. If you're willing to disclose who you would vote for, which you just yelled, please raise your hand when your candidate is called. Let's just get a read of the room here. Jacob Hornberger. Whew.
Rough.
Chase Oliver.
Oh.
All right. Lars Mapstead. Got one Lars. Okay. Josh Smith. Couple.
Based.
Michael Rechtenwald. Okay. So this is why you guys...
And a bunch of notas.
This is why you guys brought out a bunch of based speakers like Amy Lepore and Clint Russell and us. Toad. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I told Toad, if he showed up to this, it's like, what, a 3-hour drive? If he showed up to this, I would not only endorse him from the stage, but we would make this entire speech, whatever this is, podcast thing, we would make it into a debate between all the presidential candidates who showed up, which would be Toad versus Toad, and that would have been great, but even he wasn't down with you guys, so...
So did I.
Yeah, well...
Let it be known we're both disappointed.
Amen. All right, one more candidate. Raise your hand if you're still holding on. RFK. Huh?
It's
No?
toying with it. This guy.
He flirted. He flirted real hard, and a lot of y'all were real into it. We're going to talk about that and other feds coming up, but I think that we really missed our shot with Joe Exotic, so that's another beef that I have with Angela McArdle, but it is what it is. Now, again, I think you should vote for whoever you believe in who decided that you were worthy of showing up for, and reading the room, that's not too many. Where are they? Is it just because of 420? Is that the only reason? Y'all fighting over 420 so hard you couldn't get any presidential candidates? Again, there's like 25 of them. You gonna get David Dunlap to like show up to your convention and tell you about time traveling or whatever the fuck? Any thoughts, Dave? You want to scold these people harder?
Well, I want to know. There's a lady on the LP.org site who says she's running for president, but I'm not from. Who's Dr. Judy? Do you guys know who Dr. Judy is? She's on the site, right? Raising money. I think somebody sent her $150.
I mean, we could have at least weeded it down to a few by now, right?
This will be her
Dr.
first
Judy?
debate, though. She's going straight to national, which I applaud. Let's just skip all the other crap. Just go right there and get in front of C-SPAN and tell them like it is.
Yep. And this morning you guys had a debate of sorts. That was fun. Kansas outdid you. Now, why can't we get a Dave Smith or a Spike Cohen or an Adam Kokesh or, some of the people that were fun of yesteryear? Where did they all go? Where did they all go, Dave? Why do people dip their toe into the libertarian political water and then just like everybody from Dave Smith to RFK bounce?
Oh, man. You know that's going to trigger me, that question.
Let's go. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, well, just as a general rule of thumb, I really feel like we should, be more accepting of, bigger influencers or people that are toying with the party. It's like, welcome them in instead of chasing them out. General rule of thumb. So, I know for a fact that Dave Smith is kind of being tried right now with Libertarianism. Like, at some point, you have to realize that we need Dave more than Dave needs us, right? So if you're going, you didn't come to my thing, or you supported this Arizona guy who's a Republican, like, bro, that will chase away the biggest draw you have to your party, and that is bad for business. Right? Let's say that. I've seen that done with Maj Touré. Get out of here. You don't believe everything I say. Or, the redheaded libertarian, right? She's getting all kinds of shit on Twitter. She's got more followers than everybody put together. So maybe take the fact that there's a hottie with the name Libertarian in her name, right? Who's bringing people at least to the Constitution. If you're an ANCAP like me, you understand that we're not going to reach that pinnacle in our lifetime. That's why I hate the saying, liberty in our lifetime. That's selfish and unrealistic. You fight until you die, like everybody else who ever lived on Earth, for freedom, and you're grateful for that. How about that? So let's be nice to people when they come in. I'm so about keeping the Libertarian Party and the name Libertarian as radical as it possibly can be. But in the streets, I'm a prag. I'll do whatever the fuck I got to do to get it.
So Dave, RFK. You're saying RFK.
Let's fucking party. Bring him in. If he's not at the convention, I'll be disappointed. Because I want all the numbers. I want all the eyes on our party. I hope he makes a $100,000 donation, gives us an email list, sets up the biggest fucking table we got, and all the other candidates have to flail in water. That's what I hope.
Stop giving these poor gentlemen false hope. He's not coming. He doesn't want you. You're not that pretty.
Listen, but the Libertarians, again, we missed the mark a little bit. People were, I'm worried he wants the nomination. No, he doesn't. If anything, he wants your ballot access. But he would be, just like Vivek Ramaswamy, he wants your vote. He wants you to vote. Doesn't matter if he's independent or Republican, whatever. They want the Libertarian vote. That's why they went to Portfest. They need the wider Libertarian vote, not the 14,000 members of the Libertarian Party. Not those votes. Those are important too, but there's millions of Libertarians. So he would be foolish not to try and get that. You think Cambridge Analytica isn't telling Trump to go after that demographic? And of course. Of course. So we have a decision to make. What is the point of the party? Is it to serve the movement? Is it to get votes, ballot access, all these things? I tend to think we can do it all, but...
Dave, not to cut you off, but you did hear the news, right?
Did what?
You did hear the news, right? RFK specifically said, I'm not interested.
He does not want the nomination.
Like you.
Yes.
You're not worth it. He dipped his toe into the libertarian political water for 5 seconds and then said, I will take my chances with the federal government as a Kennedy. So what's that telling you about yourselves? You know?
For what it's
worth. I'm not saying it would have been a good thing, but people are running. They're running away from us.
I heard he became a recurring member and signed the Nat Pledge.
Did he?
I heard that. So that is cool. That's just, something.
So he's a whore.
So he'll say whatever it takes, baby, whatever it takes. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Now, in other fun news, good news for the Libertarian Party, Secretary Karen Ann Harlos got contacted by the FBI. Did you hear about this, Dave?
I did.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't believe it because that's what libertarians do on Twitter. So she thought it was a scam. Here's what happened. She thought it was a scam. She answered the phone, and then she hung up on them. And then they called back and left a voicemail and said, hi, this is the FBI, and we're trying to contact Karen Ann Harlos. And she eventually called, to my understanding, she called the FBI. She just looked up the phone number to the FBI, which is not anything I don't think a libertarian's ever done before. Looked up to the number to the FBI and gave them a little jingle. And the FBI answered, and she got through to the person that she was looking for, which I would say proves the angry people on Twitter incorrect. But she talked to them and forwarded them to the lawyer of the Libertarian Party. They also said that they had been, we'd been past your offices, and we noticed that nobody was there. So they're sniffing around the Libertarian Party offices, the feds are. They're calling the secretary. She suspects that it's because she's a spicy individual online, and they were looking to get a rise out of her. And that could very well be. It could be, I don't know what the reason would be why. So what the FBI, what the agents said was the reason why they were calling is that one of the social media accounts for the Libertarian Party had been compromised by an aggressive foreign agent. They wouldn't say anything more than that, to my understanding. Now, the LP has submitted a FOIA request to prove all the angry people on Twitter incorrect and prove that the FBI, y'all, is sniffing around us. Even though we don't really have our shit together, they still see a bit of a threat. Maybe it's because of RFK. Maybe it's because of, I don't know, something we're doing right. But if the FBI is sniffing around, as shitty as that is, and as concerning as that is, that proves that I think we're doing something a little correct. What do you think, Dave?
Does anybody think that there aren't Fed infiltrators in the Libertarian Party? My man. See, this term gets thrown out a lot. He's a Fed. Guy's a Fed. I would just add, if you don't think, by the way, nobody raised their hand. So odds are there's probably a Fed or two in this room. right? Every Libertarian Party convention. If you
It's this guy, mayor guy.
Right. He is.
It's always the bald ones.
That's right.
Actually, it's Clint, who didn't show up.
Very possible. You know.
Yeah, bitch. Yep.
It would be foolish to think, if you understand the nature of the state and you've studied COINTELPRO, I mean, and the stated purpose of the Libertarian Party, why would it not have some Fed sprinkled in? That's literally in their charter. So I would be very aware of that, or even Fed-like behavior. It's something I throw around. By the way, I'm not a lawyer, and this is in a court of law. So if I smell just for a second you might be a Fed, I'll point at you. Fed. Mm-hmm. That's how I do it. You got to prove to me you're not a Fed.
Yep.
Just something to consider. But yeah, obviously, Nick Sarwark, Fed, as Alex pointed out. Nobody, and even if he's not, as Tom Woods said, he's exactly. He's an organ for the CIA, and what would be the difference? How could you tell if he wasn't? So his behavior is Fed-like. When he goes on MSNBC, repeatedly invited by Joe Scarborough, known Fed, and his wife is Brzezinski, known Fed, on Fed Network from corporate Fed up here. Of course, he's there to taint your message. Guys like that are taint agents at best. Not to mention he was found. The guy was in the WikiLeaks report. People want to write that off. He was in the WikiLeaks report. Your movement has been infiltrated. Protect it. Get to know your people and smell around. That's what I would say.
And with that being said, there's a couple candidates down here. One of them's gone, but Miguel, you were one. You were asked some questions, like real softball questions for a libertarian crowd. Dave, did you have any thoughts?
Bro,
pass the buck here.
Were you the guy who said some taxation is theft? Was that your answer? Holy
some
shit.
More is bad.
That guy lobbed you up a fucking softball, and you were like, well,
I mean,
actually.
You don't even have to believe it. Just say the thing. We all just say the thing.
I'm just saying, I know you're a new guy, and you got a nice suit, and you look like some Republicans and Democrats would probably vote for you, man. But you know what? And that guy who asked that question, we don't agree on a lot. But that was the softball. T-ball, I'll even say. Just go, yeah, taxation is theft. That's all you got to do, man. You would have got everybody's voting here. just future reference.
I will say that Miguel sat next to me at dinner last night, and he's got some based-ish thoughts on 9/11.
Okay, he's got your support.
You know,
I
did not endorse.
No endorse.
No endorse. No endorse. Only Toad if he shows up. Still time. Still time. Now, on this this FOIA request and everything, they're waiting on the results for that. But is there anybody in? I guess, given the crowd that we're working with here, I wonder: is there anybody in the room who thinks that it's all made up to make the Mises Caucus seem like they're spicy or whatever? Does that seem to be some people's opinions online? Anybody think that they're making it up? Yeah. Okay. Now, Dave, do you think, what reason do you think that the FBI would have to sniff around? Do you think that it is because of RFK? And if RFK is the Fed that we know he is, why would they be concerned about him shaking things up in our party?
I don't think that RFK would be the reason. I think...
This show.
I don't think the
this
FBI
here right now.
I don't think the FBI is controlling RFK. I think AIPAC is controlling RFK. So... Could be different store, same groceries, all swimming together at that point. I don't know. But no, I believe it's absolutely real, and I think we're over the target, and I think the Libertarian Party, if we realize where our true strength is, it's in that wiggle room. If we get 1% of the vote, 2% of the vote, that's the thing that the two other parties fear the most. If you can't control the election, if the numbers are too tilted, that's why I really applaud what Colorado is doing. Just to get in there and recognize your power as a wedge. That's where it is right now. And exploit that. Yeah.
Do you think that RFK would have been sniffing around the party had Dave Smith not bailed? If Dave Smith was out there on Joe Rogan, do you think that we would have had enough of a stranglehold on the party for RFK to be like, well, that's clearly not going to work?
I haven't seen enough of the evidence that he was really interested in it. And I stand by the fact that the only reason I would toy with that is because if the people that are really passionate about ballot access and the money it takes to do this stuff, and we need these percentages for next time. It's like, well, okay, let's discuss what the function of the party is, because that guy could give it to you. You could send him out on the street. You wouldn't have to spend any resources, which we all know are tight, and you could get that. But I would argue, and this is why I'm supporting Michael Rechtenwald, is that the purpose of the party is not, like someday you could get to that point, and that would be lovely. But for right now, it is to lobby on behalf of liberty. That is how shit gets done in Washington anyway, by lobbying. So you, as Alex said, get on the comms team, get on Twitter, like start pumping this out, and start to begin to do the generational change that it will take. If every couple of years we come poking around, and hoping that we'll get an electoral victory that will lead us out of a fucking spiritual mental health crisis, damn. Like, we are just barking up the wrong tree. So,
Joe Exotic 2024.
Joe Exotic, let's just go full-blown fucking crazy.
Let's discuss some of the candidates. They've been brought up, and you guys all cast your vote for, like, 2 people in this room. But let's discuss a few, Dave. So you're still on the rec wagon, and that's great. Yeah.
I can smell your sarcasm from 2 feet away,
No, it's
bro.
great. It's great. I'm glad you are enthused. Rec's a great guy, and I think that he has, they say you have a face made for radio. Rec has an everything made for print. He's a great guy. He's a great author. And I respect him a lot, and that's where it stands. I agree with him on pretty much everything. Probably he would have my vote if I had a gun to my head and had to vote. Him or Toad or Josh or something, but I don't know. I'm just, you know me, I'm very unenthused so far this go around. But where are you at on everybody?
So I just want to maybe highlight, if you think that Dan and I always agree on stuff or whatever, we definitely do not. Dan is here for the show. That's why he'll gladly...
I got my top hat.
Yeah, you forgot, I brought a top hat. And he would gladly cast a vote for Joe Exotic because fuck it, burn it down. That's not quite where I'm at. I tend to lean a little bit more towards the era of respectability when it comes to that, as Amy was pointing out. That doesn't mean you can't be radical and say everything, like be the most... Like, look, I fucking hate the state, man. Give me the mic and I will tell you how badly I fucking hate it. But when you show up for work... My man over here's got his beard all chopped out, ties out there. He got elected to office. It's like a balancing act. You really have to be good at it. But Rec is the guy, even if everything Dan said is true about, hey, you should stick to writing books or these things like that. Personally, I'm not looking to be entertained by my presidential candidate. I'm not looking for somebody who...
The rest of the world is. That's why we got Trump.
Yeah, but and this is, again... I'm not looking even to the rest of the world. I'm looking to reach the remnant. Who are the people that are going to be inspired by this message right now? I'm not interested in trying to convince anybody's mom who's about to get on Social Security that they should change party so that they could try and abolish Social Security that they paid. It's just, come on. Let's be real here. We need to find the hardcore people like this, the millions of libertarians that are actually out there right now, and inspire them to give $17.76 a month. That's what you need to do. You don't need to win over Democrats. That probably is your last bet, right? Though it can happen. I voted for Nader. That was the first time that I cast a vote, was for Ralph Nader. You know why? Because I just didn't know shit about politics, but I could smell that this guy wasn't one of those 2 dudes. Not one of these corporate stuffed suits who would gladly sell you out, for a pension or whatever. And then on your quest, right? Everybody is at a different speed, different places in life, but you learn. And if you're on the quest for truth, ultimately it leads you here to this room. That's what I think. I really believe that.
I have nothing against Rec, and if Rec can do it, I want him to do it. If Rec can get on like the big platforms and give the fiery speeches, absolutely do it. If Mike Tremont can get on the big platforms and give the fiery speeches, do it. Chase Oliver. If you can get Chase Oliver to give a based, just raw, honest, libertarian speech on big platforms, great. I'm just not convinced that anybody's going to.
I disagree with Dan again. I'm going to tell you why.
This is the debate you guys showed up for.
We should not, we should not go elevate somebody because they might be able to deliver a message. Everybody in here could deliver the message. Listen, what have you done for me lately? That's what I would ask anybody who's running for president, right? And I don't mean for the party. Oh, have you spent time in the party? Did you knock on doors? I don't give a fuck about that either. What have you done for liberty? Have you moved the needle? What have you been focused on? So a guy like Chase loves to tout the fact he got 81,000 votes, and look, I could do this again, cause the runoff. It's like, bro, this is all how to lie with statistics. He didn't get 81,000 votes. Box number 3 got 81,000 votes. And how many people did he bring into the party with that? The answer is none. None. Because we are a protest vote. It's beautiful we got that ballot access, and it's awesome that we can get candidates and they can get access and his name will be on there. That's really cool. But don't just, like that comes with some responsibility. Understand what that is. So if you're going to put somebody in it, I'm personally against paper candidates. Put somebody up there that you can go, yo, this is the guy for this group of people, right? You're not going to pull Trumpers away right now. You're not going to pull Biden away. You know why? Because it's the most important election of our lifetime. You have to reach libertarians. Yeah, exactly. We are in a steady race to the bottom, lady.
I mean, they're not wrong because shit gets worse and worse every 4 years. So if it was true 4 years ago, it's still true today. But in this, like, if Rec is the guy, if Rec is the torchbearer to get up there, or even a Josh Smith or whoever, do you have concern? I'm chuckling at my own question. So Dave Smith, very charismatic guy. He built up a revolution, kind of like it started to. It was on the rise, similar to the Ron Paul revolution. The Ron Paul revolution built up, and we put all our eggs in the Ron Paul basket, and then Ron Paul was like, I can't do this anymore. And then the whole thing just kind of went to shit, and then we had to kind of start building it back up again. And then Dave Smith rallied a bunch of people around him and split, or didn't split. He's still around, but didn't do the thing that people were hoping for, and it seems to have kind of scattered a lot of the Mises Caucus to the wind. Do you have concern about that, assuming that Rec could build that kind of following? First, do you think that he could, and do you have concern about that being a problem of him splitting after this doesn't work out?
Man, so I'm as bummed as everybody else who was psyched about a Dave Smith candidacy. I was, for the past couple years, just kind of counted on that as that it was coming.
It's what made me think twice about the Mises Caucus after I heard you were all racists. So,
right.
And I was like, wait, Dave Smith's doing it? Okay, let's take a look. And I was like, oh, they're just right. Okay.
That to me, Dave Smith is where that's what I'm talking about. You have to show up to do it, be respectable, be articulate, and you have to be able to speak to the layman and also be based and cool and have a following and all that stuff. So that guy is the yin and the yang. So no, I think it's unfair to compare any of the candidates to Dave. No, none of them are going to be able to do probably what he could have done. But I'll say the biggest takeaway from that, from me personally, is disappointment in our movement. So what happened when Dave quit was, and I'm speaking to the Mises Caucus, my people, they just went, a lot of them, well, I'm no longer interested in this then. So it's your fault. It's not Dave. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm saying it's not Dave Smith's fault. He's a coward, and he should have done it, but he's already done enough for the Liberty Movement and the Libertarian Party.
And he's still doing more. I mean, look at Gary Johnson. And did you guys catch the last time Gary Johnson was on the Greg Gutfeld show? Did you catch that? Did you catch the last time Joe Jorgensen was on Joe Rogan's show? No. If rumor is true, Joe Jorgensen was offered to go on Joe Rogan's show during the campaign.
Thank God she did.
And she turned it down. So I'm like, I can give Dave Smith, I can rag on him all day long, call him coward, he is. But you can't really hold it against somebody for deciding to go with passion over politics. Like, you see the politicians come and go, like Joe Jorgensen, Gary Johnson, God bless them, whatever. I came in on Gary Johnson, and I worked on Joe Jorgensen's campaign. But, if you just dip in, you run for president, and then you're like, I'll be over here if you need an opinion on some just benign thing on Twitter. Like, that's not doing anything for our movement, and it's definitely not doing nearly as much as Dave Smith on an off day is doing as a comedian who believes in liberty. So it's hard to hold it against him.
Those tacos smell good.
You do. Fuck y'all.
I completely agree. Again, this is back to liberty lobbying. He just went on Zero Hedge. He debated with Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks.
About that?
I mean, that
was not on my 2024 bingo card where Dennis Prager makes me agree with Cenk Uygur.
Yeah. This is how you move the tectonic plates can shift. And Cenk Uyghur in that speech said, there's going to be a tax revolt if there's a war. Whoa, that's huge. That guy is awful on, 9 out of 10 things.
Everything.
But if we can agree on tax revolt when war for Israel comes, cool. Right? That's a fucking win.
Yeah. And just having, it's cool to see, the shift in dynamics in politics. We went from, in COVID, it was hardcore left versus right, and definitely Dave Smith was hardcore right-winger, and Cenk was hardcore leftist, and they were completely at odds. And now we've got, because different issues arise, like the war in Israel and all that, it's kind of causing a shift in dynamics in the politics, which I find fascinating, because suddenly the Democrats, Joe Biden just changed his stance and was we should call for a bit of a ceasefire, or Joe Biden's corpse or whoever's puppeting it called for a bit of a ceasefire, which is great. And he was definitely not on that side a week or two ago. A week or two ago, we had Donald Trump pro-Israel war versus RFK pro-Israel war versus Joe Biden pro-Israel war. Great. Joe Biden, even if he's doing it simply for the sake of keeping Gen Zers on TikTok happy, I'll take it. And it's great to see people like Cenk and Dave team up against these neocon assholes, where when it comes to this one issue, they cannot budge. Dennis Prager cannot budge on it, so he becomes the anti. What would you call the collective of a Dave Smith and a Cenk Uyghur?
Yeah. Man, I'll say, I've never voted Republican in my life. I've never identified as conservative, even though I'm a member of the Mises Caucus, so I've been called racist, nationalist, transphobic, and all the things. But I was, as in Amy's speech, that was great. And these people are, I'll say still, even though they've been really fucking up lately, natural allies. But over the past, 8-10 years, I was man, I was really coming to think these guys were really coming our way. But on a dime, 10-7, reverted into the war footing. And it was unlike anything I've ever seen. Worse than the woke mind virus. This has captured America, and we can get more into that if you want. But we need to be really on to that, because some of the people who, maybe we thought were allies, people still love Ben Shapiro. Oh, yeah, it's independent media, and he's, pretty good on all the issues. That guy's a fucking Fed. Talk about feds, just not a Fed for America, probably another country, right? Let's get that straight. In 2012, that guy was putting tweet after tweet after tweet how Ron Paul hates the Jews. Don't forget that. These people are not your friends. If they cite the Constitution once in a while or, own the libs, reject that sugar rush and go, no, man, we've got better shit. You know what I mean? I would say. And he's been one of the major cheerleaders there, but there's lots of them, people who turned on a dime. I have good friends that are good on property rights, non-aggression, all the shit. But you know what? God's chosen people was written down thousands of years ago. That's their land. Sorry, bro, got to do whatever you can. Times of war, shit happens. What? No. Let's be the adults in the room. Let's be more consistent than that. Let's look at the woke left and the fucking crazy Zionist right and go, nah, you're both insane, and we have better ideas.
Not to mention, he fired Candace Owens for having wrong opinions on the platform of facts don't care about your feelings, bro. That was, and to his credit, he created an entire culture around that. I don't give a fuck about your woke shit. That was his culture. It wasn't about the politics. It was about him going into college campuses and debating 16-year-olds on abortion. That was his culture, and people like that for the sport of his very autistic overly squashing them. He just crushed them in the debate. He will never do that with an adult, it would seem, unless it's on his own playing field. But with all the shift in just the right eating the right and the left eating the left, I think it's a bit of an opportunity for us to be honest and take advantage of the culture in the time that we're in. And neither of them are doing it. Neither of them are saying all around the truth on all the issues. They've all got their little pockets that they feel comfortable in. And I feel like if the Democrats hadn't gone all pro-Palestine or what have you, if the TikTok influencers weren't screaming from the river to the sea, I don't think Cenk would have been on Dave's side on this. I feel like Cenk would have gone, just like Joe Biden did, would have gone with the whatever the public opinion was on the Democrat side. What do you think?
I will be honest with you. It is incredibly disorienting to see the worst people on the planet on the right side of this issue. That's kind of tough.
People who have been calling you racist for 12 years are now like just saying anti
right. And I'm also very suspect of something that hey man, we've been trying to call attention to the war in Yemen for 10 years, right? Nobody fucking cares, but everybody knows about this, and there's million people in the street every day. So it looks like there's definitely, okay, go do this. If I had to guess, this is all part of the event that I knew was coming the moment Biden got elected, which is they're going to use this old corpse to do all the shit that nobody else could do, and then they're going to throw him over the boat like Osama bin Laden, baby. That's what they're doing right now. So
and never take a picture because it's too graphic for the internet. Right.
That's it. And everybody else who is associated with him and that movement will be discredited too. So this is all, who's this good for? AIPAC.
All comes back to AIPAC. So, Dave, I'm running out of notes. We're going faster than I anticipated.
We are.
What is your stance on the current state of the Libertarian Party? Also, we might do some Q&A if anybody has any questions. Start thinking about them, and we'll rant on whatever you think.
I think the state of the Libertarian Party, it's not as good as it was 2 years ago. Is that too rough? I don't know.
No?
I think
you mean too honest?
I think that there's great potential, and I think the name Libertarian, if we're going to have a Libertarian Party, it has to be purely radical. And we should fight for that. I manage my expectations because I understand that if you want this to be a political force, it's a generational effort. So my time preference is slowed way down in that aspect. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't control the levers of power within the party to do what we can, but we should be realistic. And I'll say that. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do.
We do have a lot of work to do, and things are rough, but I do think the upsides to this are that RFK and other feds are sniffing around our party. Like, that's kind of what we've got going for us right now. There's not a whole lot of... Are we doing another anti-war rally? Does anybody know?
I just heard that.
Is that happening?
It's happening. This party's already sponsored it, right?
Okay. Awesome. You got any details on that? Okay, no details on that yet, but another anti-war rally happening. What do you think is going to happen in D.C.? And I don't know. I know there's going to be a lot of infighting going on in D.C., and there's going to be a lot of people trying to retake over the takeover of the party or whatever bullshit. There's going to be a lot of voting on bylaws and anything. Is there going to be anything valuable that's going to come out of D.C. in your mind?
Oh, man. See, I don't know. I would love to say that there would be somebody that we could rally behind and that would be a unifying factor, but Spike Cohen is not running for president, so you just got to deal with that. There's going to be people that are unhappy with no matter what, right? And I'll say this, though, and none of the candidates will tell you this. No matter who you nominate, they're going to get somewhere between 0.5 and 1.5% of the vote because it's the third box, right? Let's recognize that. Like, we're the third box. Millions of Americans are disgusted with Republicans and Democrats, so they'll just check the third box. But they're not Googling the guy. And don't be fooled by any candidate who's like, well, I had the best thing, or Jacob Hornberger who says, I got 8% because I said I want to abolish Social Security and open the border up. Sir, that is ridiculous. He wasn't even running as a Libertarian, by the way, and there was no Republican on the ticket, if you guys don't know that. It's another example of how to lie with statistics, right? There's 2 people on the ballot and you got 8%. That's pathetic. Sorry, it is. So don't be fooled by that.
How's your lunch, everybody? Is it good?
Somebody bring me some tacos.
Amy was like, I hope I don't bring the room down too much. And we're like, we got you.
We'll move
make
that
you
right
seem like
there.
an angel. It's fine. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Now, I had a bunch of things on RFK that I feel like just completely gone out the window at this point. Yeah. But do you think that there's any chance of him changing his mind?
No, I think that he's pretty settled. I think that his vice presidential pick solidified that he is not interested in the Libertarian Party vote.
Yeah. All right. It's rough. That's the state of the LP. It's rough, you guys. It's real rough.
Who's really confident? Who recognizes we have a lot of work to do? Right? Okay, cool. Use a room full of realists. I appreciate
we are
that.
a threat, at least to the degree enough that the FBI went to our headquarters to see if we were home. And I see that as a positive. And I think that a lot of it, from Dave Smith to the TikTok influencers who influenced Joe Biden, I think the whole politics runs downstream from culture. I think it still applies, and I think it matters a lot more than our bylaws. As I don't want to put words in Amy Lepore's mouth or anything, but yeah, do the business, get it out of the way, and God bless y'all for doing it much faster than any of the other libertarian parties do. But yeah, build some culture, get out there, make something, and just spread the message of being a decent fucking human being, and you don't even have to put a label on it. Just be yourself and put more of that into the world. I think we'll have more of an influence than Jo Jorgensen. Sorry, Joe. I'm sure she's a lovely grandma, but it's fine. Dave, you got any final thoughts? And then we can take some questions if you guys want to ask some questions. Anybody have questions before we waste our time? Nobody has questions? Anybody still listening?
My man.
He has a question. And this is the point of the show where I stop giving a shit and start calling people out who are talking over us while we take questions. So, we do have something going on. Oh, I do have one more thing to discuss, Dave, before you go. Last night I found out something about the punk rock libertarians, guys. God bless their souls for bringing us out here. Thank you for bringing us out here. And thank you for all the work that you guys do. But I found out that the punk rock libertarians don't know what an XLR cable is.
I brought 3 with me personally.
The punk rock libertarians, for those that don't know what a microphone cable is.
Yo, they got a microphone in their logo, don't they?
Wait a minute, hold on. We weren't talented enough to join a band, so...
So why are you the punk rock libertarian? That was another fun fact that I found out, that your only musician plays the oboe or some shit. But thank you for bringing us out.
I'm not going to put words in punk rock libertarians' mouths, but we've talked about this, man. The essence of punk rock is do it yourself, right? That is very...
Don't defend this shit.
That is very libertarian.
Don't
you do it yourself.
This into a win.
I'm trying. These guys are the shit. Absolutely. 500 episodes deep. They got their homies and they do it, and they stay regular. And they were one of the groups that got chopped down in 2018, 6-figure follows and stuff. Yep. And they still like roaches after the fallout, baby. Showing up to do the damn thing.
Still hanging in. Yep. Oh, you guys are great. Thank you guys for having us out here. And yeah, we'll take some questions if you got them. Come up to the front and we'll give you a mic to yell into so we get it on the recording. Oh, food. I love food.
That's nice. Also, yeah, I do want to thank you guys. I didn't say that in the beginning, but thank you for having us. I appreciate you guys honoring Dan's rider, finding a place that serves beer at 8:30 and a room that's all black.
That's right.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Here. I'll take another if you got it. But also, I would like to give a shout out to my camera lady, fiance, as of yesterday. Thank you.
Woo! Cheers, you two. Who's got questions? Bring them up. Let's talk. I will walk through you while you're eating.
Bring them up. Come on.
You got a question?
They can be stupid
questions. You got a good shirt? You want to talk about Ron Paul for a couple minutes, bro? Me and you could bro down on that.
You want to talk about being the only guy who knows that it's Hitler's birthday?
Everybody was wondering why I wasn't blushing. It's Hitler's birthday, not mine.
See, okay, so she can vouch that. She was smart. I wasn't.
Bring your arguments up here.
I blame the autism.
Who wants to talk?
Dave, just go interview people. Man
will.
on the street style.
Yeah.
We got time. It's their lunch. Interrupt them.
How much slack do we got? Oh. I am limited, bro. I'm coming for that taco. I heard you're the biggest donor here. Who are you going to donate to this year?
Second biggest donor, I believe.
Second biggest? Nothing wrong with silver, sir. Nothing wrong with silver at all.
That's high for libertarians.
You got 2 candidates. You going to toss them a bill or two? You weren't impressed with those speeches, though, weren't you? I got it. Who else? This guy right here, bro. Guess what? I only got 12 feet. So it's me and you, dude. How long you been a member of this party?
Officially for probably about 2 years.
So you're not going to run for office?
Not quite yet. I got a 5.
Bro, that guy's been here 2 months.
I got to catch up, yeah.
Just saying, you look like Ben Swan. You put together as, Amy would say, professional, so consider it. Local, though. We're focusing on local right now.
That's how you sell it. You got to shave the head. That's how they do in your series.
Bro, you running for office? You are wearing sweatpants right now. He's like, fuck no, I'm not running for office, dude. I can appreciate that. And you got a Ron Paul shirt on, so I'm not going to fuck with you. We're on the same team. You know what I mean? You get it. All right, dude.
My lady asked if people were going to be dressed up. I didn't know that the Hitler fan was going to be wearing sweatpants in the front row. You never know what you're going to get at these things.
You are an elected mayor?
That's what they tell me.
How'd you do that?
Well, see, my name was on the ballot, right? And then people voted for me, and it was all good.
Did you put Libertarian on your signs? Because if you didn't, bro, I'll fucking tell everybody in here that you didn't put it on the sign.
Go ahead and tell them it wasn't on there. I actually didn't have any signs. I just knocked on every single door and I told people.
Fiscally conservative.
That's right. You reuse everything, right?
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I can appreciate that. How long have you been doing the gig?
10 months. So I got 3 more years left.
So you are officially a career politician. 100%. That's awesome, man. Line those pockets, get the DC gig, and fuck these people. That's what I would say.
So what's it like being the first Libertarian mayor of all time?
It feels kind of weird, right? I hate politicians, right? But now I am one, so I'm really conflicted.
That's why we all hate you,
right?
We're going to change the system from the inside.
This is why we can't win, because as soon as somebody gets elected, we're like, fuck that guy.
Sellout, statist.
Politician.
I'm surprised I'm here now. You guys let me in.
I trust Dave Smith way more since he decided not to be a politician.
Oh, man. Let's see. Can I reach further? You're going to marry Dan Smotz. What's that like?
Easy.
You'll make me cry because he's the best.
Is the best. She said you're the best.
Sweet on my asshole show.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I love you.
Seriously, I love both of you guys.
Dave could just marry us right
talk
here.
Sometimes after the podcast. We chat. So this is the first time we met in real life. I love to see my friends happy and thriving. That's pretty cool.
Dave,
may you be a power couple like these two back there.
Dave has his license, and we've got 40 minutes. We could get married right now.
What's up, homie? Garrett.
Yeah, so...
Give me that.
You hold the mic? Okay. So Amy asked a great question of our candidates. Why jump straight to Congress, right? What do you think about viewing the Libertarian Party as like a 35-year-old starting their political career and kind of taking that approach towards like, let's win, mayor... positions and Board of Education and things like that, and then we can start winning, congressional seats and gubernatorial races and things like that.
If you can do it as a Libertarian, read your room. If you can pull it off, then go for it. Obviously, become the Fed mayor if you want. But if you need to, Fed language, like if you need to run left or right or whatever based on your demographic in your own area, go for it, because we don't need more libertarians in office. We need more people with liberty spirit in office. I don't care what your label is. If obviously you're not going to win, then try a different route. Do what works if you're going to play the politics game.
Who else wants to talk? Do we have enough time for that? Do we have enough time to infiltrate the school boards? Ooh.
Today?
Is that a rough question?
We've got like a half hour left, Dave, but we can do it.
It's rough. Okay. Because those people are demons. School boards. Holy shit.
All right, Dave. We can do an after party here. We can talk about news.
That's great.
Yeah.
Want me to come back
if
up
you guys
there?
don't have questions, get back
Anybody
up
else
here.
got a
We've
question?
got a half hour. We're going to fill it, motherfuckers.
Let's see if we can reach my friend Dylan. Dylan Griffith. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, so what is your name again? Who's our mayor? What's your name? James. So James currently is doing what you guys want to do more than every Libertarian congressional candidate that's ever existed, right? He is in office and actually doing things in his community. And any of the rest of them have managed to maybe maintain some sort of a cult of personality, but that's is a very, very small number. For this, as a normal guy who's in his community and actually doing something, libertarians have no business running for anything except local races. If you do it, you are a hindrance to the cause. You have no business going for anything above that. Anybody that thinks they should be doing it, you're wrong. I'm sorry, you've got no business. You will accomplish more on a border commission in your county. You will make a meaningful impact in the quality of life of the people that you want to support. Just talking to your county executive and getting appointed to a Veterans Affairs Commission. Who is our veteran who wants to run for Congress? A Veterans Affairs Commission. My God, man, do something realistic. And then maybe when you're grown up and you know a little bit about what you're doing, you can find some funders, some backing, and actually have some momentum behind your name where people in your community know you. You'll drop the L and you'll make a meaningful change, right? And then you'll run and make a serious impact in American politics. But that's a tough conversation. I'm a little bit harsher than my wife is. But that's a tough conversation. But it is the honest reality of what things look like right now. If you want to make a change, make a change. But don't run vanity projects.
Real talk.
Give it up for definitely not a Fed, Dylan.
Brian. Oh, Brian has his own personal Fed who did visit his house. Right, that's why we should definitely take these claims seriously. He had a visit. Can we get a little scoop on the... yeah, you want to come up and talk about your Fed visit? Let's go.
So, Dave, I don't know anything about this gentleman. You can kind of direct this a little bit. What's your deal? What should I know about you?
So I think I'm the only
He hands
person
me a business
in this
card
room
immediately.
that has been visited by the feds. And I got an award from the Mises Caucus for the most visits by a Fed award.
Nice. Give it up for that.
My wife is not very happy that I'm up here bragging about this because it wasn't the most fun experience.
Put one more on the internet. Fun.
But seriously, when you put something on social media, they look, and if you have any sort of reminiscence of a following, they're watching and they're looking, and they're going to come to your house 3 agents deep. Watching all exits of your house on a random, I think it was a Tuesday. They were waiting for me to get home from work, and I'm sitting on the couch getting ready to get my son ready for lacrosse practice, and I get a knock on the door. And if you've ever had the cops come to your house, good or bad, you know what the knock sounds like. I knew right away. It wasn't the cops because I didn't do anything locally bad. And I knew that what I was saying on social media could be inferred as violent.
What'd you say?
You'd have to ask them for that. You have to ask them.
Mm-hmm. We can bleep it out.
It wasn't. It was calling for non-compliance, and they were trying to twist it as calling for violence. And that's what they were essentially asking me. They came to my house with, 11 by 8, whatever the size is, printer paper of literal memes that I reposted. Pepe memes, Duncan Lent memes, and they said, "What's this about? What's this about? What's this about?" So, it's weird that of me, I feel like me of all people had the feds come to my house, but they are out there and they're watching, and like the paranoia that I had at one point, I was like, you know what, that's not real. They're not really watching you. No, they really are, and they'll show up to your house armed. And there's 3 of them, and they were watching all the exits that they had access to of my house. I have a side door and a front door. I had one at the front door talking to me, and that was Patrick W. Straub, special agent of the Baltimore Division. You probably look it up, honestly. So the best thing I've ever gotten was the On X app, which is a hunting app.
Let me see it.
And it will tell you who owns every property you could possibly imagine. And you can actually look up property owners by name. So if you ever want to do a little sleuthing, you can find out who owns what property.
2600 Lord 244, telephone number 4. Or email pwst@fbi.gov. Patrick W. Straub. Give him a piece of your mind if you're so willing.
Yeah. So that's
Feds. That's what I'm saying.
And he was not very willing to give me this card, even though as an agent of the state, you're supposed to identify yourself when I asked for it. And he made me. He acted like this was a gift, and asked me not to put this on social media. And I haven't. Oops. And I haven't because I didn't feel like them coming back to my house and ruining my house. But at this point, I think I'm okay. I do plan on submitting a FOIA request eventually to find out what I was under investigation for, because I was under formal investigation. They labeled me a domestic extremist with the possibility of doing something violent and harming people. That's what they considered me to do. And if you know me, I'm probably the least violent person that you ever met. I like to hang out with my chickens and my turkeys and my kid and my wife. So, that's how they profile you.
He threatened me outside, though.
No, they didn't let me keep a whole lot. This is the only thing I got from them, other than the Ring video camera that either they ignored or that they didn't even realize that they were being recorded the entire time they were at my house. So I do plan on cutting that together and putting it out there eventually. So obviously they know everything about me. If I would have asked them my shoe size, they probably could have told me. So I didn't tell them anything that they didn't already know and make explicit that they knew. So if the feds ever come up to your house, knock on your door, I've been told to not talk to them, but that's probably, in this case, the worst thing that I could have done is not talk to them.
It doesn't seem to go well when you avoid them.
No, if I would have been a dick to these people, they would have come back with the warrant and ransacked my house for absolutely nothing.
Do you have a dog? Or I should say, did you have a dog?
I do. She's still alive. She was barking at the time when they knocked on the door, so thankfully I came out not aggressive for the protection of my dog. Yeah, so watch yourselves. It's legit. The feds will come to your house and talk to you. And my recommendation, now, your local police, don't talk to them. Keep your mouth shut. When a fed comes to your house and they tell you that you're under federal investigation, talk to them. Now, know your rights. They wanted to come into my house twice. They asked to come into my house twice. And I told them, no, we can stay outside. And by talking to them and letting them know that I know my rights, they said, I like to think that they said, you know what, this guy, he knows what he's doing. He's probably going to call a lawyer as soon as we leave this place, which I did, and it's not worth the fight because we don't have anything on him. So just protect yourselves. Be fucking smart. Don't be dumbasses like I was. It's not worth having the feds come to your house over some internet clout.
Between you and Karen Ann Harless, I think the moral of the day is cooperate with the feds.
It really is. As unfortunate as we is, cooperate with the feds. You have to comply, or it's going to get worse. It really will get worse. So that's my story for today. I like it. And I apologize to my wife for her
Give it up
being
for the
involved
Fed
in
winner
this.
and his wife. What's your podcast, bro? Y'all got one. Free State Podcast. Told you. Free State Podcast. Also, we probably should have mentioned we are the Systems Down podcast, and Dave also does Dave versus Goliath, but who cares? Got anything on that, Dave?
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff on that. First of all, give
I'm
it up
gonna
for
need
your
a taco.
boy. He's definitely over the target. He's doing that for you guys. Get him on the comms team if he's not already there. And also, if anybody in this room was thinking, oh shit, he's on a watch list, so are you, motherfucker. You're on a watch list. It'd be crazy to think you're not. It goes, big data is at the top of, big pharma, big oil, all that shit. Big data, they want the information, baby. NSA is right down the street. I know you guys know that. Everybody's name is in there as a potential extremist. You've seen the... Go ahead, man.
One more thing. So I had a medical marijuana card at one point. It's supposed to be protected by HIPAA laws. They knew I had a medical marijuana card. So HIPAA laws don't mean fucking shit. Depends to find out.
Yeah. So yeah, we're all on a watch list. We have limited time. So be aware of that. And I'm not saying don't be based on the internet, but yeah, be careful with your words. There's a reason we all signed the Nat Pledge. It's the reason that Nolan put that in the beginning. We ain't terrorists, even though that they can't wait to classify you as that. Can't wait. Because that means they get to black bag you, throw you in the van, take you wherever, you know?
Have you or a loved one been injured by some fuck nuggets reckless driving, a tumble at your shitty job, or some other form of dumb shit outside of your control? Well, fear not, because today's episode is sponsored by a lawyer. Lone Star Injury Attorneys is an award-winning personal injury law firm that achieves maximum results for its injured clients. Max the Axe is not just a lawyer, but a hardcore Mises Caucus libertarian and also a big supporter of this show and all of our bullshit. Max is the best personal injury lawyer in Texas, but don't judge him by his occupation or location. Max is an avid defender of liberty and justice in whatever state you got fucked in. If you've been injured and your ass needs saving, go with the pros at Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or Google Max the Axe. Consultations are free and you don't pay a single dime unless you win. Once again, go to LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com and get your ass covered.
So
Dave, this conversation's getting a little on the downside. Let's bring it back up a notch.
Let's do it.
Finish strong. Recently, Canadian doctors admitted that COVID booster shot paralyzed a woman, so they offered to euthanize her to make up for it. So, our shot, sorry, didn't work.
Dr. Irene's very upset about this.
We've got a shot for that, too. Can cure it up, because you know who's not paralyzed? Dead people. Thank you, Canada. Problem, reaction, solution.
Sounds exactly like the thinking of a machine to me. Yeah, the whole thing about, like they kick your legs out, give you a crutch, this takes on a new meaning for that. It's like, we are going to give you a terminal illness and then kill you.
Yep. I'm really glad we live in the future. Now, libertarians, the whole euthanasia thing, I feel like that should be a bit of a conversation for libertarians, because you should have the right to kill yourself. Of course you should. You're in control of your body. You should have that right. But now we've gotten that libertarian thing, and we see how it plays out, where they push it just as heavily, if not more heavily, on people than booster shots or other untested drugs. But this one, I mean, it's got a 100% effective rate, so might as well go for it. We are to the point now where it's like, oh, you're sad? I can kill you. Like, is that what we want in a libertarian society? Is that our utopia?
So,
is this a good step, Dave?
I haven't read all of the legislation yet, but Delaware, while not a shithole state like Canada is a shithole country, right? They are working on legislation that would, okay, well, we're not quite at the point where, all right, if you're depressed, we'll kill you, right, via the state. But Delaware is at the point where the terminally ill people that want to get a lethal injection should get it. That's what they're pushing. So if you're a libertarian in here who's going, well, you have a right to your body, so that's good. It's okay. Stop there, though. You don't want the state to get involved in the death of anybody who might need it. Oh, and the state will, through taxation, will fund the death of these people.
Solution to
you can
everything.
understand how the snowball will roll, right, on that one. So let's avoid that. As Dan said, yeah, you have a right to your life. That means if you want to go and, sit in your garage and pump it full of carbon monoxide until you call it one, okay, I don't recommend it, but you have the right to do that. You don't need the state to assist you with that. Don't be a pussy. Just fucking do it.
Speaking of things that... Speaking of things that, I don't know, things that libertarians should agree on, but we're seeing how they're playing out. Who does this come from? I think the New York Times? Los Angeles Times. Must-reads. STDs in women are skyrocketing. Officials think racism and misogyny may be to blame. We're whores, and it's your fault. Racists. I mean, is there anything else to say on that? Strong, independent women out there? You got anything? Climate change. Chlamydia change, yes. If y'all could just keep your racism in your pants, these strong, independent women won't have to take responsibility for their actions. That's all I'm saying. Dave, got anything?
No, you pretty much
just going to leave me out to dry on that one? Cool. All right. What else we got in the world? Anything going on in your neck of the woods, Dave?
In Delaware, right next door?
I mean, I would share like video clips and shit, but I was supposed
system
to have a
is down.
projector, and it's all the way back there, so it's a little tough. But there was this bishop that got stabbed. Did you catch that?
I did. I saw it.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, not like fun, but like spicy. So I was told that it was because it was done by a guy who shouted. I haven't dug into this that much, so whatever, look into it. But he got stabbed, no blood, whatever, as you do. The guy apparently shouted Allahu Akbar or whatever, and he's definitely a Muslim. But if you dig into this bishop's past, he's very pro-Palestine and has gone into Gaza and lended aid there. So it just seemed odd to me that this pro-Palestine Christian bishop got stabbed by a Muslim. What do you think, Dave?
What are you suggesting, that it was an inside job, bro?
I just said it was weird.
It's definitely
just
weird.
asking questions.
And that guy was the guy that was smiling after he did it, right? Was that the one?
Yeah, the stabber was laying on the floor.
That's
all George Floyd style, and he was smiling.
How's the guy doing who got stabbed? Is he doing okay?
I don't know.
Let's just chalk it up to 1,000-year-old religious wars that we'll never solve. How about that? Yeah, you just got to let it play out.
There's no one to blame.
Leave the culture war to the other people. Let's talk about other stuff. It's almost
any century now. They'll work it out.
Yeah.
Just a couple $billion more, and they'll get their shit together. Let's see. Grimes. Grimes, you know who that is?
I do.
Elon Musk's old techno girlfriend who was at Coachella and decided that she didn't know how to.
That was painful.
Whew. So, punk rock libertarians don't understand this, but as musicians, it fills me with a lot of stress to see that happen to anybody, even if I don't think she's a good human being.
Yeah.
Did you feel any empathy, or did you take a little bit of joy seeing one of the devil's minions out there struggling to figure out technology?
I wish I could have got some schadenfreude out of it, but no, it was just, it was her going, okay, my laptop's broken, but I'm going to figure it out, to 75,000 people. That's incredible. So if you're going to go out there and be at least hide it, I don't know, do something. She was like explaining.
She's like, stop the show. I'm going to
Wow.
figure this out. Just got to do some math. Unfortunately, she got rid of her.
I wish she would have got
Elon
up
Musk,
there.
who could have done all of her math for her.
She should have Ashley Simpson fucking tap danced in front of, just done something. I don't know, do something.
Do a little jig. That's how you get out of that. Oh, here's a fun one. We're gonna wrap up soon, I swear, but let's end on a high note. I'm pretty sure this is real. An abortionist who said she cut baby vocal cords so they can't scream during abortion loses medical license.
Yo, I feel like that's a NAP violation.
Yep. Thank you for taking the bold stance in the room, Dave.
Hey, I'm not afraid to do it. I'm not afraid to go there.
Any thoughts?
I'm not worried about anything I say.
We live in dark times, y'all. We live in dark times. But, yeah, she took the Fauci route on the Beagles.
Look, choice is good, but don't be a sadistic bitch. I don't know what to tell you.
Also, don't kill kids. Just don't. Then you don't have to cut their vocal cords until they're like 12.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I know my audience. I know it's split.
Bold stance. Don't kill kids. Thank you very much. Now, that's enough. We can leave these poor people alone.
I had a great time.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great time too. Everybody check out Dave. Where can people find you, Dave?
I do a biannual podcast. So it's twice. It's twice a year, bro. I'm on it. And then bi-weekly with this guy. And I'm on Twitter trying to raise hell. And yeah, Dave versus Goliath is the show and where you can find me.
Yes. And this is our culture that we build, where we shit on people and tell jokes and piss you off during your lunch entertainment. But thank you all for being here. You can find me at dan@TSIDpod is my email. I don't know why I'm telling you with my email. You can send me physical mail directly to my house address at, just kidding. Thank you for listening to our nonsense at TSID Pod on Twitter. And we're going to be doing tonight, I think, if it all goes according to plan, are we set up for the podcast tonight?
Are there enough XLR cables?
Did you figure out what a mic cable is? All right. If we can, between now and tonight, we can figure out what a mic cable is. We're doing a podcast with us, the Punk Rock Libertarians, and Clint, if he decides to stop being a diva and show up to something.
Oh, man.
And thank you guys all for being here. And I hope you enjoyed your lunch, and thank you for
Thanks,
having
guys.
us. We appreciate it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.